Good
How do I
afternoon,
do?
good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I could tell you just put some lip glistener on before you came in here,
My
huh?
lip gloss is popping. My
My lip
lip gloss
gloss
is
is
cool.
all the girls be popping when
That was
all the
enough.
boys be stopping when
That
they
was
see.
that was enough.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it is another episode of Taste or Waste, aka TRW. We got the guy
Stevie be eating.
and CIZY, aka Coach Stutzer. Can't have dessert, have an ass mother. Anyways, so we are excited because this past week we thought that we were going to go to Lowe's Hotel. Per usual, this man was like, you should go there. And I was like, hey, you should probably call before we go there, And I was like, you should probably call. You should probably make sure that it's opened. Tell
Okay,
him what
so let me
happened.
actually, tell the truth of the
Mm-hmm.
story.
Yeah.
So we
Listen to
were
this.
planning to go to Lowe's Hotel and go to Stillwell, I believe is the name of the
Correct.
restaurant. And I was looking up just to make sure, and it said it was closed. And so me being the person that I am, I actually, sent this dude a message and said, hey, it says that it's closed. Are you sure it's open? And he was like, yeah, it's open. I go there all the time. Me and my girl always go there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, he knows. Even though my gut told me that I should call to make sure that they're open because he's an idiot. So what ended up happening is I get there, I get into the garage, and then somebody calls me. He's like, "Hey, yeah, you was right. It's closed today. I mean, I don't know why it was closed because usually it ain't closed." And I said, "So you probably should have called to make sure." So that's my fault. That's my fault that I didn't, actually follow my
Extreme
gut
accountability. There we
and
go.
right or lack thereof. So lo and behold, we weren't able to go to Stillwell, but hopefully we'll be able to go there soon when they're open.
Personally, I believe that the location of choice that we actually ended up going to, which was actually the whole plan, I wanted to trick him into thinking we were going to an American style restaurant. And instead, I took him to one of the greatest Thai spots here in Kansas City, according to some friends. Now, you're going to hear our opinions on it today. And the restaurant's name was Baramee Thai. Baramee Thai.
Why did that
Okay.
sound Italian?
I don't know. I needed to make it sound fly. So
Yeah.
Baramee Thai. I could say Baramee Thai, bear me Thai, bury me Thai. It's like telling Thai to bury me. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, BARAMEE if you want to look that up. Baramee Thai in Crossroads, Kansas City. And we parked really far away because I wanted to make sure he got a little bit of a walk in on our way there and got about a 10-minute walk back in order to digest the food. So, how did you feel about the decision to park far away? Because you look a little upset right now. I want to climb you
I
so
was not
bad.
happy because
Hey,
I
but
totally forgot.
before that, ladies and gentlemen, before that, good thing y'all only can see chest up. Because Steve, I want you to take a look at this.
Oh my! I have a whole hole in my sock.
Y'all can't see it. It's okay. Back to what you were saying about the walk.
Interesting. So, because we see clearly, I mean, I'm walking holes into my socks. But anyway, so we parked, and he was just like, yeah, he was like, it's actually around the corner, and I'm like, okay, cool. So we start walking, and I got my little boots on and stuff, so I'm thinking I'm looking fly, and what happens is that we keep on walking. And we keep on walking. It's literally like 4 blocks before we get to the restaurant. We drove past it, and I was like, there are parking spaces like right in front of it. So when I found out that he did that stuff on purpose, I was not happy. I was not happy. It hurt my spirit.
Y'all see me smiling. This how buddy look right here. Look. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Thai food. We go into the restaurant. It's a cute little spot. During the summertime, they open up the glass windows or open up their little windows so that you can like see directly into the restaurant and like you can get that airflow from outside to get that natural fresh air. And I find it to be a vibe. But when it comes wintertime, that vibe changes. Having any doors open is not it. And although they closed the front doors, they had the back door open. So this was the first L. This was the first bad sign when we came in. We were like, all right, cute little spot, busy around lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
They sat us quickly, so that was cool. But immediately as we sat, we felt a nice cool breeze hitting our system. So sign number one that this might be a interesting experience.
Right.
What did we order as our appetizer when we pulled up to this spot?
So as an appetizer, I'm always, when it comes to Thai or Asian or Chinese, I always want to try out their crab rangoons because I'm a huge crab rangoon fan. So I ordered, an order of crab rangoons, which were good. They were actually good. I mean, there was a nice, mixture of the cream cheese and the imitation crab. The phyllo that they use was actually good.
What is
So
phyllo?
that's the dough that they fix your face. So it was all, those were really good. They had a really good sauce. So the crab rangoons was actually on par with some of the tastier crab rangoons that I've had.
Okay, listen. First off, I was really confused when he said imitation crab. I was also confused when he said crab rangoon and then imitation crab right after because I was like, holy shiznate. Crab rangoon is called crab rangoon because it got some imitation crab in it. I had no idea. I thought it was just cream cheese and bread for like, how am I? So like 24 years. For like 24 years of my life since I started eating at, Chinese, any Asian style restaurant that carries crab rangoon. Rangoon.
Yeah,
Anyways, I learned something new that day. So I learned about crab rangoons actually having crab in it. Imitation crab because we live in Missouri, so we don't get real seafood here.
not completely true. There's some
Okay.
restaurants that we do get real seafood,
From
but
like who?
like McCormick and Schmidt's, like Eddie V's, like Bristol, they get fresh seafood flown in like daily
How do they get it flown in?
from a plane. Where do you think how they get it
So they
flown
just
in?
got money to hire a private jet to just be flying in some fresh food every day.
Clearly.
I can see clearly now.
So I also ordered a drink. I also ordered a cocktail. It was called it was a margarita, I believe,
It was a margarita, a mango
a
margarita.
mango margarita. Um, I was not impressed.
He really wasn't.
I was not impressed. I wanted to be. I really wanted to be because I was like, "Ooh, this would be a good margarita." Because generally, the Asian restaurants, they have really good, strong mango flavors. So I was expecting a good, strong, sweet mango, and then a nice tequila, to mix that with to break up the sweetness. But I was not impressed. It was very lackadaisical.
That's a large word. I know you didn't learn that in small town Kansas. You learned that when you moved to Kansas City, huh? Anyways, listen, he really did try his very best to enjoy that drink. I'm not gonna lie. So I saw him grab the cup. He was excited. He grabbed the
It
cup.
was.
He took a sip and he was like, hmm. And I was like, what? And he was like, he didn't say anything. So he took another 2 sips actually.
Tried.
He took another one and gave that type of vibe. So at that moment, I knew that he was disappointed in his mango mocktail. I mean, mango cocktail. I mean, mango margarita.
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't impressed with it. So unfortunately, that was a big L for
Because
me.
it didn't have taste. Is that what you were
It didn't
sharing
have
with me?
taste.
It
Yeah,
didn't
because
have the taste you would expect out of a margarita,
right,
considering most margaritas are considered sweet drinks, essentially.
right, and it didn't have a flavor. It just almost was very. If you can describe a drink as bland,
Hmm.
it was very bland.
They gave you diet mango. I thought that was funny. I hope y'all laughed with me because he didn't. So he gets his mango
Margarita.
margarita. We get the crab rangoon. 1 point for the crab rangoon, -1 point for the mango margarita. So we
Yes.
are equal back at 0, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
All right, so what did you order? You ordered the standard thing for a main meal that everyone orders when they go to a Thai spot. I was just kind of disappointed in you. I was hoping you'd get something, different, a little bit of a vibe, tell them to give you something random. You're like, let me get this basic item everyone gets when
But
they go
it
to Thai restaurants.
no, no, no. It wasn't basic. I was going to get basic. I was going to get pad Thai, which generally is basic. But I got what was it called? It was called the Pad Caprao, Prao. Pad
It's okay, brother. I believe you. Kapow, you
Pad
ain't got to
Cap.
show me.
Hate you and I hate your ass face.
he was, hey, he was looking for
Yes.
validation. He said, look, look,
So
look.
it is a house favorite for them. It is a house favorite for them, and it's called Pad Caprao, Prao.
And what it got in it?
stir-fried meat, which I chose chicken
Mhm.
with sweet basil leaves, fresh chili and garlic, served over rice with a pan-fried egg.
Okay.
And the presentation, it looked delicious. I mean, it really did look delicious.
A lot of chicken is the first thing you said. You were
Yes.
like, "This is." I'm surprised at this large amount. I looked
Mhm.
at his plate and I was like, "That's some small ass food." I was like, "Dang!" Like how
I mean, because it was
he
almost like ground chicken. It was ground chicken, basically, is what it was. But it was it was a large portion of the chicken, that was underneath the
taking up
egg.
the plate, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
mean, the portion size I totally like, and honestly, it was good. Like the meal was actually good. There was a lot of a lot of the chicken that was in there. Well, clearly a lot of chicken, and then with the different basil leaves and all of that, it actually had a pretty good flavor. Now it wasn't my favorite of that specific dish. I had another dish, that same dish at another location. And it was actually better, just a little bit better. But actually, all in all, I thought it was good.
So what made the dish at the other spot better than this dish?
It had a little bit more flavor.
Do you know what flavor was that? Is there something specific you would have added in there?
It
I know you're
was
not the chef.
it was more right. I'm not the chef. It was more of a seasoning, almost like either a seasoning salt or something that was needed, or more of the basil or something. It just didn't have as robust of a flavor as as I was hoping.
Okay. And what exactly is the point of adding basil leaves to a meal? Like what type of obviously flavor. So do
Mm-hmm.
not give me that word again. My man said flavor about 4 times in the past 14
Flavor,
seconds.
flavor.
Flavor, flavor. Well, I wish I had a big watch on my neck.
But you don't.
Anyways, so what exactly is the point of basil? Is it supposed to add spice? Is it supposed to add sweetness? Is it supposed to just add like a tangy seasoning, seasonal type taste?
It adds a different flavor. It adds. It's not necessarily a spice, but it's like it changes the. I'm gonna make up some shit. It changes the tonality of the food. Like it isn't like a pepper or a salt or anything like that. It's more of like a flavoring agent that changes the
The
tonality of the
of the
meal.
meal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Y'all better
Yeah.
write that down.
Tonality.
Okay. We about to create a blog post out of that. That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah.
The flavor profile, ingredient profiles, tonality. Got you.
Mhm.
And there was one thing that you didn't like. I'm going to point at it so you can comment on it.
Yes. So which was again my fault. I don't like runny eggs. So when they're fried, because a lot of people will fry them like over easy. A lot of people like them like that. I prefer them to be fried well or over hard or whatever they call it, where there's no runny yolk. So once you kind of, a lot of people they're like, yeah, I want yolk everywhere, but I'm not that person. Like I don't like the yolk running all over my plate and stuff. So I did not let our server know that I didn't want it to be over easy and the yolk to be runny. So that was my fault. But I still ate it.
You did. And
It
what
was still
happened?
good.
And what happened at the end of your meal when you had some leftover and I seen that egg sitting on your plate?
He was trying.
All right, quick little funny story time, y'all, because I feel like I'm gonna forget later. So Steve is brushing his food into his container, right? Brushing the food in there. Hold up, look at this. So yeah, he brushing his food in that container, and he left the egg on his plate for like half a second. As soon as I spotted that egg on that plate, I said, "Hey, put that egg on my plate." What he gonna say? I'm taking this shit home, man. So no. And on the rice, now I know people say it's hard to fuck up some rice, but people can potentially mess it up.
People
I would
can.
say that the rice was fire personally, but I haven't got to my meal. So comment on your rice.
No, I think the rice was good because it was a jasmine rice, I think. So it actually did have a good flavor, and mixed well with the basil tonality and all of the other ingredients of the dish. So it was good.
I can't get over that. But for some reason, I just keep thinking about toes every time you say tonality, and it made me remember that I need to grab a toenail clipper from my right pinky toe because it hurts. Anyways, so what we'll do. Are you gonna add a point on? We're not gonna rate your meal yet, but would you add a point back on? Because we've been equaled out. We had -1 for the drink. We have +1 for the crab rangoons.
Yes.
And so that took us down to 0. Would you add 1 point back on the board for your meal?
Yes. I'd add a half a point.
Okay, 0.5. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are at 0.5. Now let's move on to my food.
Yes.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was in that mug and I was looking at the menu and everything looked rather tasty. I was like, this looks delicious. This looks amazing. This looks top tier. This word sounds cool. Kapow. This sounds cool. Kapow. This sounds cool. Thai. And I was like, dang, I don't know if I can make a decision, but we are a little rushed for time because we were already late. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? Excuse me, miss. Excuse me, miss. Choose my meal. You know what I'm saying? I told her, hey, I don't have any what is it called?
Allergies.
Allergies. I don't complain. If it's nasty, I'm still gonna eat it completely.
True.
I was about to say I'll pay, but that's not true. And so what I'm saying is I told her, hey, I want some curry. Choose the best curry on there. She popped out with, what did she give me? To be honest, I don't know because I told her to pick herself. But I got the menu right here. What you doing, man? What you doing? I got the menu right here. So I think what she gave me was the gang. Oh wow, gangs.
Gang, or which one did you get?
Hell no, she didn't give me that. She gave me a yellow curry. So the gang curry.
Yeah, gang curry.
Gang curry. Gang. Yeah, I want to know something funny. It's kind of hilarious. Sometimes when Steve say something in a text message and I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, bet. Sounds good. Like, cool. Say less. Like, slang term that us young bulls use nowadays, we might just be like, gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll be like, I'm on my way. And I'll be like, gang. He'll be like, 6:30 for tomorrow's training session. I'm like, gang. You know what I'm saying? And he always says, what does that mean? And it just makes me laugh because I realize that he's not in my age bracket.
I'm not.
But in fact, double it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I had the gang curry, which is a yellow curry powder with chunk potatoes, carrots, yellow onions, topped with dry garlic. And it hit. It was delicious. It was way too hot. It was way too hot. And now he's laughing because he think I'm talking about the spice. The spice was light work, man. I handled that amazing. I didn't even
You did not. Your nose was running.
You lying. He lying. I didn't even drink no water.
That's a lie.
I drank nothing but the curry sauce, the curry water itself. That's it. And it was easy, light work. But it was hot, and I probably should have waited a few minutes to eat it because I definitely burnt the roof of my mouth. But that's a typical habit and hobby of Collis. Now, I know it might be weird to burn my mouth, but you know, everybody has their vices. And I always add rice to my curry. I don't take the curry and put it on the rice. I take the whole ball of rice and just put it in my curry. I like to mix everything together. I like my rice to be nice, soggy
mess.
And I'll give it a 10 out of 10. The spice killed. I love getting super spicy. He is right. I was lying. I was drinking the hell out of that water, which takes us. Yeah. I was doing that. There's a few photos of me like a few photos of me like with water in my hand, which we'll plug in right about now. But I enjoy my food a lot. I actually have no complaints about the food itself. My complaints are around the service.
Oh.
So I will add 0.5 to the board again for my meal. Oh no, I'm gonna add a 1 because it was delicious.
Okay,
I have no complaints. So we're at 1.5. Okay. So we're up on the board of recommendations of this restaurant, but let's talk about the service. Now, I would like you to go first because I think you're a little bit more anal about good service than I am. So I would like you to break down what you consider to be good service and where they were lacking in that arena.
Okay. So when it comes to service, I do, because I tip well, and I expect, the service to be well as also. But when it's a small restaurant and you can see us and you see that, his water is empty, and there's, empty dishes on the table, those kind of things, that irks me because it's like, he's over here about dying because he's, he's trying to suck the water off of ice cubes. And yet, we literally went probably 10 minutes or so without you having water.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is not okay. So, and we couldn't even find our waitress. And then we actually had to grab another waitress in order to come and help us, to help us with getting him water, and then because I
Clearing
wanted
the
to,
table,
yeah,
ordering the dessert. Yeah.
yeah. So I was not impressed with the service at all.
Now, what I thought was funny is he expressed in the moment, not to them, but to me, that he wasn't impressed with the service. So right after that, I'm kind of just chuckling in general at his expression of that. Then he asked for a to-go box, which took 12 minutes for him to finally get a hold of somebody to ask. But when he did ask for his to-go box, he had a good amount of food left on his he had a good amount of food left on the table, and they came back with a little ass to go box like this size, and I thought it was hilarious. Now he made it fit; he did a good job. He portioned it out in such a perfect way. It was almost like an artistry, but the egg was touching the plastic at the top, pressing up against the top of the to-go box. So
Try to escape.
he's trying to escape, exactly, escape into Collis's hands. That part. Now I thought that was hilarious, but eventually, yes, they refilled my water. Eventually, yes, they brought the to-go box and cleared off the table. But I think the point of the matter is, you kind of want to expect quality and quick service really at any restaurant at the end of the day, which makes their job tough, and I understand that. But in a small restaurant for sure. And honestly, by the time we needed that stuff, it was already empty from lunch. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Yeah.
and there was 3 people out on the floor. They just weren't walking by our table to
Which
like
they
check.
had to kind of walk by us to
Right.
get around,
True. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
nobody
True.
was actually
Stopping to address
Yeah.
like, hey, you need any more water? Hey, do you
Right.
want any desserts? Do you want any extra drinks? Do you want a refill? Anything of that nature. So we will subtract some points for that, which
Yeah.
will be subtracted at the end when we give our taste or waste review. But outside of that, I mean, they were kind. It's not like they were rude or anything like that. They were sweet when they did address you.
Mhm.
The food came out extremely quick, and it was
Yes.
hot. It wasn't cold. It wasn't like bullshit. So like the food was quality. The food was quick. The food was hot, and it came out fast. So I do appreciate that. They sat us really quick, so I do appreciate that. She was sweet when she was like, talking to us about what food we want to get.
Right.
It was just the in-between service that you expect that kind of leads to a good tip that you would expect or assume that they'd be on top of to make sure they get that bag. So let's move on to the last item that was ordered this evening.
Yes.
And the last item is right here on camera for you guys to look at. We'll give you a few different views of it, probably just one view. I think this is the best view right here.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this item, and what was it called?
So it was it just the mango sticky rice? Is
Yep.
that what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good. Again, it was good, but maybe I'm just extra picky. Maybe that's what it is.
I wouldn't consider you picky, but I think you might have gone to one too many good Thai restaurants.
Maybe that's what it is. It was good. The dessert was good, but as I was explaining to him, the mango I generally expect at a Thai restaurant. The mango is usually very juicy, very sweet. And it wasn't like bad, but it just wasn't what I was used to. Because there's another Asian fusion restaurant that I get. And it's like the purple, sticky rice with mango, and the mangoes are always on point. Every time that I get it, it's always on point. So I was expecting the same type of quality of mango, which I don't know the seasonality of mangoes, but it was okay. It was okay.
It was okay, and I mean, I found it to be delicious. I probably would have ordered another plate of it, but what I will say is I do get what he means by like the quality of the mango. Now, it wasn't like mushy or anything weird like that. It's a great texture, you could say, but it just wasn't as sweet and juicy. And this ain't the right word, but I just want to use it. I've been thinking about it. Voluptuous, as one might expect.
Spell it.
No, thank you. P-H-U-L-L-L-M. Umptuous. But no, it was good, and I would say it looked good when it came on the plate. Presentation is decent, but again, I think the mango could be a little bit more bright, and the purple rice would definitely make the presentation of this a little bit better. But it doesn't mean that the coconut rice that they served us wasn't good. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, and the mango wasn't bad, but it was not as juicy and voluptuous as past places he and I may have gone to separately. Because this is the first Thai restaurant, and he wasn't kind enough to invite me to any of the other Thai Asian fusion spots because he's disrespectful. Disrespectful.
Very.
But yeah, I would give it another 0.5. So that's 1.5 from Collis. Looks like it's about 0.5 and 0.5.
Yeah.
So about a 1 from Collis. I mean, Steve thus far. So a 1 and then a 1.5, which brings us to a totality of 2.5 for the day. with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what else are we missing? Is there anything we didn't cover? We covered service. We covered our whatever it's called, dessert. We covered each of our meals, and we covered our appetizer that we got. We talked about walking in, so it looks like we covered all our bases.
Yeah, I think
so. Let's do what we do best and give it a rating. Do you want to do out of 10 or 5? I know I change it up every week. And
right, you do.
Keep it consistent. Keep it consistent. But I'm like, I like 5 and I like 10. So why can't I have each? I want the best of both worlds. I can't have that in my real life. So why can't I have it on YouTube? Anyways.
So do you want to do
Let's
5
do it out of 10.
or 10? Out of 10.
Yep.
So out of 10, and this is overall, right?
Right.
Overall, I would probably give it a 6.
6. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so where are we subtracting points from? They already know, but let's quick hit. Where are you subtracting points from?
Okay. Service was a big one for me. The crab rangoons I actually liked, but my meal it didn't have as much flavor as I would have liked. My drink didn't have much flavor, and the dessert was good, but it wasn't
the best. Yes, I love it. So I think that's a good rating from your side, considering everything I know that you didn't like. From my side, I'm gonna say the only thing I didn't really rock with was the service, but I'm gonna take 2 whole points away for that. I know that can be a little harsh, but I feel like that's the best part of the experience. If they all in your face, they filling your water up, they on top of things, they being really sweet, and I wish they were, but you get what I'm saying. They there showing up for you the whole time, especially when it's a little bit quieter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think there was opportunities for the service to be better. So I take away 2. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Is there any way to do an average between like a 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and what that averages into? Who cares? You guys leave that in the comment if you guys know how to do that type of mathematics, ladies and gentlemen. But as you guys know, what we do in this show, we give it a taste or we give it a waste. Waste means we don't recommend you go there. Taste means we do recommend you go there. So on 3, each of us are going to yell taste or waste, and that'll be a wrap. 3, 2, 1, waste!